Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Code It with AI. Hey, Jeff.
How's it going there, Carl?
That was terrible. Should we do that again?
Let's try that again.
Let's try that again. Hey, it's Carl and Jeff, Copilot, CodeItWithAI.com. I'm Carl Franklin. That's Jeff Fritz. What's up, Jeff?
Let me tell you something. I've been wanting to automate so much of processing email this week. And I've got to spend some time on that.
Yeah, be careful, though. I wouldn't give your agent too much agency with your email.
That's a good thing. That's a good tip.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So anyway, we are right now in Orlando at Dev Intersection and Cybersecurity Intersection and all the other intersections that are going on at Universal. But we're recording this right before we leave and had a great pilot episode. Everybody came out to see what the heck we were doing. Hopefully we can keep it going. So tell us what we're talking about today, Jeff.
You know what? When we start working with Copilot or any of the other AIs, we have this kind of unbounded personality that's looking at and working with our code. And when you really break it down, it's almost like a 7-year-old with ADHD. And it's so excited to help us, and it gets distracted easy. And we need to talk a little bit about instructions and how we build our prompts for working with the AI. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that.
Okay. And I noticed, and James Montemagno said it too, that Claude tends to be a little more scrappy, puppy-like, you know, when it comes to doing stuff. It likes to do stuff that you didn't ask it to.
You're
like,
absolutely
hey, like
right.
This, I did this too. I did this too. Hey, check this out. Hey, over here.
You're absolutely right. And if you watch, Claude answers every one of your questions with, "You're absolutely right."
Yeah. Oh, okay. Is that why you said that?
You're absolutely
All
right.
right. So we're talking about instructions and then prompts and what's the difference. And let's go ahead. Take it away.
All right. So here I've got Visual Studio Code open, and I wrote a very brief instructions file because I want this application to do its thing, but I just want to slightly change how it works. I want the AI to be very descriptive in how it presents a solution. Use lots of emotes in the responses and ASCII art. Use lots of ASCII art when it's called for.
Okay.
It's a simple project, and I've just done file new Blazor application.
So wait a minute. You really got to start with what is an instruction file and how is it different from a prompt file? Because this doesn't look like anything very specific.
That's right. An instruction file is just a markdown file that has a series of instructions that you were going to give that 7-year-old with ADHD.
Okay. So this is like a system prompt then.
That's right.
It gets tacked on to the beginning of every prompt, if you will.
Yep. Every request that you send to the language model, this is going to get tacked on to. Now, this is a very basic instruction file. There are folks that are going to tweak and tune and grow their instruction file appropriately for different technology stacks that they might be using because they want to do different coding standards, different architecture standards, different best practices that they want to push the language model to use as it suggests code. So we can write this Copilot-instructions MD file that will just be applied to all files that it works with.
Now, is your formatting there with tone and project description important? Does that help?
It's not entirely necessary to use those headings in the markdown file, but they're good for our human eyes to see that these are kind of grouped together.
Okay. But if you don't format it, it's still going to figure out what's, under what.
Yep. You got it.
Okay.
So this is not bad. And I can go through and just give a simple prompt here of, let's do something like make this application, let's make it global server interactive. And that's a very simple enhancement to make to a Blazor application. You see it's going to take in 2 references, but it's also going to accommodate the instructions that I gave it. And already it's starting to use emotes, right?
So this didn't start out as a Blazor server interactive?
No,
global?
this started off as just a Blazor server-side rendered application.
I see.
So it's being very descriptive, and we're going to see that it's going to get through here and start using more emotes. Here it comes, right? So some stars, and it's going to continue doing its thing as it wanders through the application.
And while it's doing its thing, I read today that Sonnet 4.5 came out, and it's better. Like, it has more memory space, bigger context, and it also can handle longer processes without interruptions, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to give that a spin soon here, I'm sure.
So, right, we're seeing that it's taking the request that I put in here, and it's even adding interactive features to the weather component, right? This is the ADHD of the application, kind of the LLM going off and doing something it wasn't asked to do, but it's going and making the weather template more interactive, right?
Okay.
Look at this. It's added, 150 lines of code just to the weather page. And now
if you didn't want it to do that, would you put in your Copilot instructions MD, only do the things that I ask you to do? Don't take any liberties with it, and would it obey you?
It would. Yes. You tell it, stay focused, only do the things that I tell you to do.
Wow.
So now it's actually stumbled and created bugs for itself to solve. This is where we might want to reel it in here.
Right. I had to do that with Claude Sonnet 4 before. I had to tell it, no, this isn't what I asked you to do. Go back and take this out. And it apologized and said, okay, you're right. I'll take it out.
Yeah. So there it is. It's going to try and run the application, and we're done. Right?
It's interesting that it would put the render mode interactive server at the bottom of routes Razor.
Isn't it?
I haven't seen that technique before. Does it actually work for global?
It does, because the routes gets included at the top of the layout. So if for some reason it's deciding, I'm just going to run the application one more time. It's going to try and use the simple browser, which doesn't actually go anywhere. But
yeah, so is it using Playwright to test this stuff?
No. It's just navigating the simple browser and making sure that it can get to that. So I'll close that, but look at the report that it's delivering.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
It's giving me all the emotes, and it added some ASCII art because I told it to. Now, that's cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
But there are other things that we can do with the instructions file. This Copilot-instructions file is very much included with everything. It's a global description. Put some information in there about how you want it to behave, how you want it to learn about the project, some details about what the project is that you're working on. But when you want to start writing some things about specific things you want it to do with Razor files, C# files, JavaScript files, we can add extra instructions files inside our instructions folder and add a filter that says, here's a description of what this prompt is, what this instruction set is, and only apply it to files that match this filter.
Now, did you write this, or did Claude Sonnet write it?
Claude didn't write this, but we'll come back to that in just a minute.
Okay.
So this is very clear set of instructions for how to name and write Razor CS files, Razor CSS files, so that we get information about how we want our application built. And look at this.
That's really cool. I mean, it's going fast. I can't read it, but I can see you're covering a lot of ground here.
Yeah. Now,
wow.
That's going to be applied whenever we work with a specific Razor file, right?
Oh, the filter is applying to everything.razor.cs and .css. Oh, cool.
So we can now scope a set of instructions to a file type. Okay. Wow. So when you want to apply specific formatting, or you want to tell it to build files in a certain way. Hey, don't put any style blocks inside of my Razor files. Instead, put them in the .css files. You can add that instruction here. Now, that's pretty good as a way to break up some of what you're defining there so that you have separate instruction sets. And to your point you were saying earlier, Carl, when we layer these instruction sets, there are system prompt. And if we have a really big single Copilot instructions, that's being loaded into every request. And it's not going to see as much of our code.
So it behooves you to be efficient with your instruction files and only use those filters to just make the instructions apply to the prompts that you're giving it. The things that you want it to work on. That's great.
Now,
but I gotta know. You must have written this code because it's very much from the point of view of a Blazor developer. Is this stuff that we can go get? This
I
instruction
didn't write
file.
this. So there is a GitHub repository out there that some of our friends like James Montemagno and Aaron Powell have been working on called Awesome Copilot.
Yeah.
I've linked this in the description just below. You can find it both on the GitHub repository and in our YouTube video. And this has a whole bunch of instructions, coding standards, chat modes, and collections. We'll talk about those
instruction
another time.
files. This was a Better Know Framework item on a recent .NET Rocks.
So
it's fantastic.
Yeah. So if you go into the instruction files here, there's all kinds of templates for different ways, different languages that you can grab and just start using with building your application.
Do these work with all the models, or is it just a Claude Sonnet kind of thing?
Yep. No. These work with all the models, and it is a set of instructions that are specific for Copilot.
Wow.
So
this is great.
That's linked, and you can check that out. But that's one part of this. The other part of this is prompts. So I wrote that one instruction to convert this to be global server interactive. Now, that's not very interesting. And it's not something that I really need to save off because I'm going to repeat it in other projects. But something that I might repeat is something like, hey, go generate an editor config for me. Right? Yeah. Editor config contains those standards for how we want to format our code that all the modern code editors know how to use, right? So you can grab prompt files that have a similar structure, and they live in this prompts folder under your .github folder.
Wow.
And now we've got a title, a description, and what kind of mode do you want it to work in?
The mission.
Mode? Agent? Yes.
You are an editor config expert. Yeah.
Yes.
This is the thing I learned about these models is when you tell them to be smart, they actually are smarter. And, as much as they can be smart, but geez, I don't want to keep anthropomorphizing them, but they know you got to talk in those terms. They know that if they don't give you smart answers, that you're not going to be happy about it.
So let me take that and couple it with one more change I want to do here. So this prompt file, right? I can execute this with Copilot because it's saved in my prompts folder and it's got this name of editor config prompt MD. I can drop into my chat window and I can just type /editor config.
No way.
And it will execute this prompt. But before I do that, you made a very good point there, Carl, about if you tell it to be smart, it'll be smart. Let's do one more thing here. You talk like a pirate.
Great.
And let's let the prompt run.
It's so cool.
And now...
Ahoy there, matey. I see you be wanting me to craft you a fine editor config file for your Blazor treasure of a project. That's so much fun.
So
Dave Barry would be proud.
Yeah. The editor config treasure. Look at this, right?
Yeah.
It's fun. To your point, it behaves the way that you instruct it to.
Right.
Even if it's as silly as you're a pirate.
But using words like brilliant are very important. You are a brilliant. What does it say up in your mission there? You are an expert. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would even put the word brilliant before that, because that, it makes a difference, believe it or not. And I first learned this from Brian McKay, one of the AppVNext guys who dug into GPT very, very early on. And we were doing a show called the AI Bot Show. And he was talking about how, if you just be expressive with how you want this thing to be and tell it it's brilliant all the time, and it makes such a difference.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't believe it, And if you say you're stupid, you're a stupid idiot who can barely put two sentences together. But it's going to be that.
But you turn it around the other way. You can tell it, if you get this wrong, I will be very disappointed.
Yeah.
And it will double check and triple check things and be like, I don't want to disappoint you.
Yep.
So
it's amazing how simple it is.
Yeah. So
it's LLM psychology.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So
weird.
It's a very simple code sample that I've got loaded in there. You can find it in the GitHub repository, but I want you to check out the instruction files and the prompt files. And if you want to learn more about those, Wendy Breedling on the GitHub Copilot team put together a blog post that I want to make sure you check out. It's linked just below in the YouTube video. I have it linked in the GitHub repository. This is called Prompt Files and Instruction Files Explained. It's on the .NET blog for folks to check out.
Jeff, this is great stuff. And hey, if you want to express your opinion, you could leave a comment here on YouTube, but also send us an email at codeitwithai@appvnext.com. Send us some feedback or any questions you might have, and we'll get back to you, okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care, friends.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out blazertrain.com and blazerpuzzle.com for more great content.